So I was talking with a friend about how people can put up their bitcoins in as collateral and they can borrow money. Can you explain this process?
Absolutely. So when people use Bitcoin as collateral, they typically go through a crypto-backed lending platform. Essentially, they deposit their Bitcoin into a digital wallet controlled by the platform. Then based on the value of that Bitcoin, they can borrow a certain percentage of it in a stable coin or fiat currency. The Bitcoin acts as collateral. So if the borrower can't repay the loan, the platform can liquidate the Bitcoin to cover the debt. It's a pretty flexible way to access liquidity without having to sell the crypto.
So if I put up $100,000 in Bitcoin, what is the percentage that I can get as a loan in fiat currency?
Yeah, usually the loan to value ratio for crypto backed loans is around 50% to 70%. So if you put up $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, you might be able to borrow somewhere between $50 and $70,000. It can vary depending on the platform and the specific terms, but that's the general range.
So just to be clear, the financial institution would have custody of my actual Bitcoins.
Exactly. Yes. The platform essentially holds your Bitcoin in a custodial wallet and you don't have direct access to it while the loan is active. But as long as you repay the loan according to the terms, you get your Bitcoin back once the loan is settled. It's definitely a secure way for them to ensure that the loan is backed properly.
Isn't it like a mortgage where I put up my house as collateral?
Yeah, it's pretty similar in concept. With a mortgage, you put up your house as collateral, and if you default, the lender can foreclose on it. With crypto backed loans, it's basically the same idea. The crypto acts as collateral, and if you can't repay, the platform can liquidate it. The main difference is just the asset type and how it's managed. But the underlying principle is quite alike.
Okay, and what about, what if I own Bitcoin but as an ETF? Can I put up my ETF as collateral to get a loan?
That's a great question. Typically, crypto backed loans require that you own the actual cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, directly in a wallet rather than a fund or an ETF. ETFs are more like investment vehicles that hold the actual asset and you don't have direct ownership of the underlying Bitcoin. That said, some platforms are starting to explore using ETFs as collateral, but it's not as common or as straightforward yet. It really depends on the platform's policies.
What if I own Ethereum coins? Can I put them up as collateral to get a loan?
Absolutely. Ethereum is actually one of the most commonly accepted cryptocurrencies for collateral. So if you own Ethereum, you can definitely use it in a similar way to Bitcoin. You deposit your ETH into the lending platform and then you can borrow against it. The process and the loan to value ratios are pretty similar, just with Ethereum instead of Bitcoin.